All right, here we are. Let's get it going.
At least we're having fun.
Welcome to On The Sideline. I'm your host, Jeff Holden. Today we're here with Big O.
God bless you.
Coach Evan Hearn, and Muenster head coach, athletic director, Brady Carney.
There it is. There it is.
Yes,
All right.
There you go.
You did good.
All right.
We're rolling.
We're here. So, as you may know, we're starting a new mini-series about previewing football here in 940.
Sure.
We are thankful that you come to Muenster. I mean, not come from Muenster.
Sure.
Here we
I
go.
made that drive. Yeah.
All the way here to the studio, saving us the trip,
That's it.
which in turn almost guarantees you a trip for me and my camera to go watch
To the
Muenster
sideline.
football
All right.
on
All right.
the sideline.
Make sure you let me know when you're coming so I can tell you which game to come to. All right. Gotta have some good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we got to get a good one.
Gotta get a good one.
Yeah, with some highlights.
Don't come to that holiday game second week. I don't know how that's going to go just yet. All right. Stay away from that one.
No, it might be a good one.
Yeah.
Battle of the Ring.
But yes, I appreciate you coming.
You bet.
We're excited to learn about
Yeah.
Muenster football.
We got to get our picture
What
up
else?
there on that banner like we talked about. We got to extend that banner out and get that.
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
Texas,
So-
Texas M up
Yeah,
there.
so we definitely do.
Yeah.
This is our first 20 teams or so.
Yeah.
We're going to get expanded. We had a guy come by today, actually, earlier.
Yeah.
We're going to get expanded with hopefully all the rest of the
Because
teams.
y'all
that
added
were coming.
quite a few teams, didn't you?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're going from 20 to about 37,
That's what I
maybe
thought,
even
yeah.
40.
Yeah,
I haven't talked
saw
to
that.
them yet, but I have some things
Got
to
some
talk
other
to you
ones.
guys about.
Always a secret.
But yeah, so man, we're excited. Football's king in the state of Texas. It's going to be here before you know it.
Yes, sir.
Coach Evan Hearn with the brilliant idea of bringing all the head coaches here because we get to read the newspaper. We see what everybody's saying, what the expectations and this and that, and who's playing, who's coming back, blah blah blah. But what better source than the head coach?
That's it. Yeah.
So we'll go ahead, Evan, get this
All
thing
right.
started.
Well, Coach Carney, glad you could make it
You
to
bet.
us today. So, introduction. Let's talk about yourself,
Okay.
your coaching career, and how long you've been at Muenster.
Yeah, so this will be my 15th football season at Muenster. I got there in 2010. Before that, I was in Lindsay for 4 years as the offensive coordinator, head track coach. And to start my career, I was in Prosper way back in, I guess, 2001 or so, back when Prosper was a one high school town, one little 2A, high school. We were in the district with Salina and Argyle and all those guys. It's pretty crazy to think about how much that place has grown. But, yeah, man, Muenster's been home to us for 15 years. Been great to us, and we've won a lot of football games, had a lot of success.
So, in turn, let's talk about your season last year.
Okay. Man, we finished the year at 8-5. Got beat in the third round by Albany, who ended up winning their second state championship in a row. Had a really good football team. We played them really well, but 8-5 record's not exactly where we want to be as far as wins and losses. But we had a tough schedule and played some tough teams, so we didn't get that 10-win mark, and we didn't get to play in December like we wanted to. But I saw a team that definitely grew throughout the year, from beginning to end. A young team at the beginning that looked like a very veteran team towards the end of the season, and like I said, I couldn't have been more proud of their effort last year.
That game against Albany, Coach, how close was that game?
Man, I think it ended up 19-12. We had the ball driving, probably in the, I don't know, maybe their 15, 20-yard line, 30 seconds left or so. Had our chances and threw a pick down there. Had an in route. Kaysen I think he thought it was going to stay out. Kid cut it in a little bit. Kaysen missed it, and safety was right there and picked it and sealed it. So, but no, it was a really good game, man. We played our tails off, and I actually saw Adam Hill, who was a good running back from Albany. I saw him at the regional track meet, and he said, "Man, Coach, y'all woke us up." It was one of those things. He said, "I don't think if you guys wouldn't have played us like you played us, I don't know if we'd have won it." I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
Yeah, I was
Still
about to say,
got
I don't
beat.
know.
Yeah, I don't know. man.
Thanks.
I didn't take it. I didn't take it
Thank
as
you.
a compliment. Yeah, I don't know how to take
Wish you would have
that.
stayed
Yeah.
asleep.
Yeah.
I hope you lose.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it, man.
No,
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive, though, to go from, in the beginning of the season, you said you're young.
Sure.
Weren't sure probably what was going on, but then, those guys coming right into it at the perfect time. That's always the key thing, moving right in, getting together as a perfect time and going 3 rounds deep in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and
playing your
losing to
best
the-
football at the right time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like we did that. And as a coach, you can kind of vouch for me on this. Seeing a team that grows throughout the season makes you feel like you're doing your job and they're listening to you and they're getting better. You can take as much pride in that as you can anything watching a team.
Well,
grow.
I think it's clear that you're doing a great job over in Munster.
I don't know about
15
that, but I
years,
appreciate it. Yeah,
lots
yeah.
of winning games in football. We'll go ahead and jump right into it. What does the city of Munster mean to you and your family? And,
Man,
and how
I think we mentioned
what's the reason
earlier.
you've been there for 15 years?
We got good sausage and cheese. One of them. We already talked about it.
Come
Fishers,
on now.
man. We already talked about it, didn't
Yeah,
we?
Going
that's
to
true.
get
Yeah.
some.
Didn't
No.
even bring us any.
Yeah, I did not. I
Oh.
should have. That's my bad. But no,
Next time.
it's just been home to me and my family. You know, we talked about earlier, Kason, my son will be a junior, and Addie, my daughter, will be a sophomore, and that's the only school they've ever known, the only town they've ever known. And as a coach, that's hard. That's hard nowadays because you don't get to spend a lot of time in places sometimes. And we've been fortunate enough to win, stay around, and for us, man, it's just become home. It's a great place, great families, kids that work extremely hard every day, play the game the right way. So no, it's just it's become home to us, and we appreciate that opportunity.
So off air, we talked about last year's team, and
Sure.
you graduated. I think you said 10.
I think
kids?
there's 10,
About
yeah,
10 kids,
about
and
10.
so you have a lot of guys coming back. So let's talk about your offense. And I know you guys are a bunch of two-way starters. So
Sure.
talk about your offensive starters and your defensive starters.
Okay, yeah, we'll start up front because, like we talked about
Come on
earlier,
now.
that's where it starts.
He
man.
doing it the right
You
way, yo.
That's that bread right
If you're
there.
gonna win football games, you gotta be solid up front on both sides. And for us on the offensive line, starting at right tackle, we got Zach Smith coming back. Rhett Walterscheid at right guard, he's coming back. Kyle Liddell was our center, he's coming back. We got to slide a couple new guys in on the left, whoever that may be. Tate Sampson, Carter Clement, Payson Wiley. Those guys can play some guard for us. Landon Hawker, Ty Hess, they'll be playing some left tackle for us. And then the skill positions, we're bringing back Caden Clement, who's a wing back for us. Bringing back Garrett Hess, he's a tight end. And in the backfield, we got Nolan Peel coming back for us at a running back. Kason Carney playing quarterback for us. And then we got Ethan Hinton who'll slide in and play some running back, slot receiver. And then Maverick Byer will also be a wide receiver for us. All those guys got plenty of time last year. So like I said, we've got a good group coming back, especially on the offensive side. Sliding over to the defensive side, starting up front, got Garrett Hess will be playing some end. Hayden Flightman will be playing some end. Slide inside to the D tackle position. We got Nolan Peel, Rhett Walterscheid, Kyle Liddell, Ty Hess. Then you go over to the other defensive end. You're looking at Landon Hawker, a young man by the name of Legend Bounds that comes to us from Gunner. His family moved in, so he's going to be able to help
Legend.
us. Legend.
We
Great
done
name,
heard-
isn't
We
it?
done heard
That's
some
a
football.
That's
games.
a football name right there. If I ever
So,
heard
yeah,
one.
we're hoping Legend, man. He's going to play a little running back for us,
He's the
too.
legend.
Then sliding back to linebacker, we got Tate Sampson coming back in the middle. Caden Clement will be playing our Sam linebacker. Simon Johnson will be playing our Will. In the back end, you're going to have Kason Carney and Ethan Hinton at safeties. And then at corners, you'll have Parker Hartman, Jake Wheeler, Mason Mills, some of those guys playing back there in the back end.
At Orthopedics Express, our primary focus is delivering exceptional care to patients with orthopedic injuries, such as sprains, strains, broken bones, and joint pain. You'll receive the expert care you need when you need it most. Simply walk in or schedule an appointment through MyChart. Located inside the Center for Advanced Orthopedics, Orthopedics Express is your fast track to orthopedic care.
You got one? Oh,
Oh yeah. So one thing I wanted to you said that you had I believe it's like 7-7 that you got right
Coming
now.
back, yeah,
Coming back.
yeah.
So out of the 7-7, are you going to be a senior led team, or are you going to be the team's going to be still kind of even
We're
flow?
probably going to start a lot of juniors. We'll probably start maybe 4 or 5 seniors on each side with a lot of juniors and a couple of sophomores mixed in there. So we still got some young kids, that will be back next year again. But our seniors this year got plenty of time last year. Like I said, Caden Clement, Tate Sampson. Man, those guys played a ton. Parker Hartman, Hayden Flightman. So we got some good kids. Some juniors going to be seniors coming back. But we will be starting probably, like I said, 6 or 7 junior sophomores on each side of the football this year.
Okay. Would it be safe to say that you have a really strong junior class?
Our junior class is pretty stout. Yeah, they are pretty stout, but it's kind of evening out. We feel like our freshman group's a good group. Sophomores got some kids, but as far as numbers, our junior group has always been the group that's probably approached that 18 to 20 mark, and for a school our size, that's a lot of kids.
So that's a 2025 group.
That's a 2026 group.
Okay,
yeah,
so the juniors incoming.
Yeah,
okay.
no, it will be 25 season,
yeah.
but 26 graduates.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You want to talk philosophy?
Yeah. So, Coach, So, do you coach offensive defense?
And I'll be honest with you, this is my 24th year coaching, something like that. And I spent 22 years on the offensive side. And I'm not going to say I got tired of it by any means, but I was looking for a little bit of a change. I was going to slide over and be the DC last year, but I was able to hire a guy that had left me for a year. He came back, Wes Johnson. I was able to hire him back, and he was my DC to begin with, so I just slid him in there and helped him on the defensive side. I let Coach Aaron and Coach Wheeler kind of take over the offensive side. So to answer your question, I feel deep down I've always been a defensive-minded guy. I don't know. Like I told you, I'm going to be an offensive line, D-line guy. That's where I feel like our team's made. But I feel like we win championships and we win games on defense. And in my mind and in my heart, I've always been a defensive guy. At a young age, I got stuck calling offense and Prosper, and I never went away from it. But deep down, I really feel like I was a defensive guy, to answer your question.
All right, so to talk a little bit, can we talk a little bit about what's your offensive philosophy and your defensive philosophy for the Monsters?
Man, we're gonna start off talking about defense the first day of two-a-days. That's what we're gonna do first. I mean, I want to instill in our kids we're gonna be a defensive-minded team. And if we can hold really good football teams, I always say if you can hold the Albany Lions under 14 points, you got a chance. We want to hold people to 0, sure. But in a real world, that don't always happen. You play really good football teams. But we're going to preach defense first, the first thing out of the box in 2 days every single year. And then we're going to slide over to the offensive side. But defensively, man, for our level, we feel like we've got to stop the run because that's what most teams are going to do. So we're gonna preach stopping the run first, and we're gonna move our guys a bunch up front because we're not very big. We don't feel like we can stay in a 3 and a 1 and just sit there and take people on. So we're gonna slant and move as much as we can up front, and try to bring as much pressure as we can. We're gonna try to stop the run. That's what we're gonna preach more than anything. And then over on the offensive side, like I said, it starts up front with your O-line, but we're gonna run the football. At least we're gonna attempt to run the football successfully every Friday night. But I'll use Albany for example. Man, their D-line was tough. They were strong. They were fast, way bigger than us. And where we will, let's say there's 60 plays in a football game, we're going to run 40 times and throw 20. Against Albany, we threw 40 and ran freaking 15. You know what I'm saying? That's what we had to try to do to win. Yeah, we had to do that, and we weren't as successful as we wanted to be, of course, because we didn't win the football game, but we felt like we were able to transition over to that throwing side a little bit that game and still have success. But, to answer your question, the philosophy side of things on the offensive side, man, we're going to run the football. That's going to be the first thing we do. That's going to be our goal is to run the football. We control the line of scrimmage maybe in a different way. We pull a lot of guys. We don't feel like we can inside zone block and manhandle people because we're going to average 180 to 200 maybe. So we're gonna block down and pull dudes as much as we can and get out on the edge as much as we can. But that's my philosophy. It's pretty simple: defense first, and we're gonna run the football.
What's your speed like in the backfield?
It's funny. We were running 40s and stuff in the spring, and let's say that we've got 15 kids that'll go 4.7 to 4.9. Well, I mean, 2 of those dudes are our defensive tackles. 2 of them are linebackers, and two of them are DBs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for us, like our strength on the defensive side is our speed because we're not bigger than anybody, but we feel like we're just as fast. So I know it's kind of crazy to say, from our defensive tackles to our safeties, we're the same speed all over the field. And
that's not a bad thing to have.
It's a good thing, but then you worry because when you do, and you know what I'm talking about, you play those dudes are 240 up front, and we're 180. You worry about them just mashing on you a little bit. And that's why we're going to move on defense as much as we can. We can't just sit in a 3 and a 1 and just get hammered. So we're going to be slanting and pinching and moving as much as we possibly can. But I think, team speed is one of our strengths. Like I said, we're going to be decently fast from the front of our defensive line to our back end. We just don't have any dudes that run 10.7s or 10.6s. We just got a lot of guys that are going to run 11.1s, 11.2s maybe. But we're going to run 4.7, 4.8, 4.9 in the 40.
So you talked about, you guys' size, but one thing is for sure, with the success that you've had at Muenster, that teams your size will not play you guys. So let's you can go in more about that and segue that into your non-district schedule.
Sure. No. I'm not here to put anybody down by any means. It's just we do have a hard time scheduling teams that are our size. And we reach out. I reach out to as many people as I can and try my best. And it's just one of those things they don't really want to play. But we do have teams like Windthorst, Collinsville. Those guys, they'll play. If we're not in the same district, those guys are going to play us. Some people won't. So we do get stuck, like you're talking about the non-district schedule. We get stuck with bigger teams. We get stuck with a lot of 3A, Division I, and Division II teams. And the other part of that is it's usually not your not so good 3A Division II teams or 3A because it's a no-win. It's a no-win for them. They're supposed to beat us. And then if we do beat them, they don't like the way that looks. Right. So for us, we get stuck with the good 3A Division I, Division II teams, like I mentioned earlier. So, to start off, our first two scrimmages are Jacksboro first, and then we slide into Callisburg and Wattsboro for our second one. Then we open the season with the private school down towards Fort Worth, Lake Country. And then, then the gauntlet starts for us. We go Holiday Week 2. Windthorst 3. After that, we got Pottsboro 4, and then De Leon 5. And that's a really, really tough schedule. But like we talked about earlier, we feel like it'll make us better, and that's the goal through the whole thing. We may not be 5-0. That's our goal. Mm-hmm. But if we can come out healthy and be playing good football and get better from playing those good teams, that's what we're looking for.
The realtor we trust is Kim Roark, given to others with love. Kim was raised in this community and has been selflessly serving for over 20 years. Kim encourages everyone to thrive in their purpose. Kim is part of the Homes for Heroes program, where she gives back a portion of her commissions from each closing to all military, firefighters, law enforcement, healthcare, and educators who use her services. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, Kim is the realtor for you. Go check out the website, homesforheroes.com. Since starting from scratch in 2020 by longtime resident of Clay County, Bob Belcher, Duck Creek Disposal has quickly become one of the most trusted waste disposal service and dumpster rental companies serving the 940 community and the surrounding areas. Local to the core, they take immense pride in being a part of the Wichita Falls community. Duck Creek Disposal's deep roots mean that every customer is treated like a neighbor. Their promise is to guarantee the best customer experience in the area, and they live by it. Whether you're a homeowner, contractor, or business, they've tailored their services to suit varied requirements. Bob's hands-on approach and belief in personal connection means that when you call Duck Creek Disposal, you're experiencing a standard of service that Bob himself envisioned. You talk to real people, not a machine. Go give Bob a call at 940-257-5660. Serving the 940 community for 12 years, Allegiance Electric and Controls is the trusted go-to for commercial and industrial electrical solutions. Contact them for reliable, tailored services to keep your operations running smoothly. Please call or visit their website at aecllc.com. For all your paving and concrete needs, we trust Freeman Paving, LLC. Located in Vernon, Texas, Freeman Paving is our recommended business for concrete, paving, and dirt work. They have over 20 years of experience working right here in our community. Next time you need any concrete work, give them a call, 940-552-9496. If you're looking to treat yourself to a delicious dessert, then Yogurt Journey is the place to be. Yogurt Journey offers 12 delicious flavors of frozen yogurt with over 60 topping options. If you want something warm instead, stop by to enjoy an amazing funnel cake, fried Oreos, fried brownies, or fried candy. Yogurt Journey also offers frozen yogurt rolls, waffle frozen yogurt rolls, and smoothies. If you need a cake for your next celebration, Yojo provides custom frozen yogurt cakes. Yogurt Journey is located on Kemp Street across from Barwise Middle School and is open daily from 12 to 9 p.m. For all your roofing related needs, we choose Assured Roofing and Construction. At Assured Roofing and Construction, their hard work is based off honesty, loyalty, and integrity, ensuring that every customer gets what they deserve and is happy and stress-free throughout the entire process. When any storm damage occurs to your roof, gutters, fencing, or siding, Assured will have you covered and help you from the initial free inspection to filing your claim, meeting with adjusters, and getting your damaged property fixed properly. give AJ a call at 940-782-1194.
Let's talk about now your district with the UIL.
Sure.
Realigning every 2 years. So let's talk about your district schedule. Did you guys change? And if so, tell us about it.
The only thing we lost was Celeste. Coach Rector and the Blue Devils, they headed back east, which he always felt like they should have been, and I did too. For some reason, they got stuck with us last year and the year before, of course. So you take Santo and Celeste, that's basically 3 hours apart almost, and they had to travel to each other. And that's a long drive. I know the coaches in West Texas don't think 3 hours is a long ways, but for us around here, it's a long ways, So we lost Celeste, kept Santo, Collinsville, Lindsay, Erie, and Chico. And, man, our district it's a tough district. And if that's something you were going to ask, I can go ahead and go into it for you. But our district is tough. Lindsay's going to be really good. They lost one. They had one senior last year.
Oh, wow.
That's it. They had one senior. And
good for them. But
good for them. Bad for everybody else, right?
Maybe not so good.
Huge up front, man. They're probably going to average 230. 240, and for a 2A school, that's something.
It's like 300 pounds.
It is.
In
It is. And they're big, and they run the football. And they're going to be really strong. Collinsville was a really good team last year, had some really good athletes. They lost a lot of athletes, but the thing, man, everybody's overlooking Collinsville because they bring back every offensive lineman, every defensive lineman, their Mike linebacker, and they're going to fill in those holes behind those big dudes up front. You can take an average running back and put him behind a great O-line. He's going to look really good.
Yeah.
And that's fixing to be Collinsville. Man, I'm telling you, they're going to be really good.
Emmett Smith.
Well,
Put Emmett Smith behind Allen. He looks good, doesn't he?
That's what they said. The wall.
Santo's always really well coached. Coach Mann does a great job. Era's got some good athletes coming up. They haven't been strong in the years past, but I'm telling you, they got some speed coming. And Chico is just one of those places that they haven't had a lot of success, but Coach Sanders, I think, is going on his third or fourth year, which for Chico, that's something because they were turning over every 1 or 2 years, and you can't build a program like that. But Coach Sanders has been there for, like I said, I think this is his third or fourth year, and they're just steadily going to keep getting better each year. So our district's tough, man. I could see Collinsville, Lindsay, us, any of us playing, possibly 3-4 rounds deep.
So going back to you talked about Albany. You won a state title at Muenster in 2017.
Yeah.
Albany has been the is now the two-time defending champ.
Back to
so
back.
You know what it is to be or have the target on your back. So how's that motivation for you guys this offseason? Maybe not chasing Albany, but knowing.
No, we're chasing Albany. Everybody's chasing Albany. Yeah,
no,
you
and
bet,
that's the
man.
team you got to beat to get to your goal.
And they're in our region, and that's the thing. Our
Yes.
region, man, for a lot of people who don't know 2A football, but 2A Division II football, Region 2 is a freaking gauntlet. It's tough every year. The last 3-4 years, the state champion come out of Region 2 with Windthorst and Albany twice and us back in 17. But Region 2 is it is tough, man. You got Collinsville, Lindsay, us, Albany, Wellington, Clarendon moved over to Region 2. And that's not even talking about other teams out there that are really talented, man. Seymour's going to be good this year, Windthorst. But it is a tough region. And, yeah, you can say we're chasing Albany. I think everybody's chasing Albany. And our motivation is we've been beat out by Albany for 3 straight years in the third round. And man, our kids are hungry, and I think they see an opportunity maybe – because they're working their tail off. They see that Albany lost 9 starters on defense. They lost 8 on offense. They lost Adam Hill, who was a straight running stud for a 2A football player. He's going to go to Tech and be a good player out there. But, no, I think our kids see that this could be our opportunity possibly to maybe get the best of those guys, and see what happens. But, no, you can say we're chasing Albany because we are. Everybody is.
So you talk about chasing Albany. Is there another, I guess, 2-part question here. Is there another team or another game that you have circled on your schedule? And if it is it a rivalry game? If not, who is the rival of Muenster?
Okay,
Hornets?
So first off, man.
That might have been like 4 parts.
No. I'll try to answer it the best I can. Yeah. I'll try to answer it the best I can.
We're trying to.
No, for
It's
our
all
district, dude, you just, like I said, you can't really overlook anybody. So for us, it's just one game at a time in district.
So next
it's one of
game
those deals.
mentality.
Yeah. But if you're talking about rivalries, and you guys probably don't know a lot about it, but the Muenster-Lindsay deal, that's the Kraut Bowl. That's the German thing. It's East Germany versus West Germany. It is a big deal.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
Tell us a little more.
We're 8 miles apart, whatever it is, maybe 12. We compete in everything. We're the same size school, same German Catholic community, family members. You got cousins playing in Lindsay, cousins. You know what I'm saying? It's all family oriented. So every year, man, it's a big deal. It's one of the best small school rivalries that I think the state has to offer.
We're going to
really
have to check that out.
And as you said, you coached on both sides.
I coached on both
How's that?
sides. I did. I coached on both sides, man. And I tell you what, my time in Lindsay, I've said this before, I had 4 years there, and it was great. And my 15 years in Muenster has been great because both towns are full of good people. But, it's funny because those kids, you take them on any other day, and they're buddies. They're doing all the social media stuff. They're talking to each other, and they're good. But then you put the helmet on Friday night, and you think they hate each other for 4 quarters. It's get after for 4 quarters, and it's always a good football game. But no, to answer your question, man, that is our rivalry for sure.
That might be the game we
yeah, it's in Lindsay this year. That's the Kraut Bowl.
Lindsay. Okay.
Yeah,
It's called the what? The
Kraut Bowl. Yeah,
Kraut?
Kraut.
Okay.
Kraut. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a German thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there like a
Sauerkraut.
food festival or something? Can we come get some of
there-
that sausage
so-
and cheese you're talking about? or-
So of course there is sausage served at the game and stuff, but like for us, we got they'll do some sort of fundraiser before the game where you come and eat, and they may have sauerkraut and sausage and all that stuff. Sure, yeah, no, it's a big deal, man. It always draws either Fox Southwest or all those
Really?
different places. Yeah.
okay.
Just Google it, man. You'll see it.
Hey, I believe you.
So, Coach, I had a question. If I'm not mistaken, your son is the quarterback.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so the question that I have for you is, how do you separate the two? Like, does the coaching continue when you get home, or do you try to leave the coaching at school and kind of just?
Man, we try to leave it. We try to leave it as much as we can, but there's times where sure, Coach Carney's not in the greatest mood because of what happened at practice. It may carry over, but Mama doesn't want that happening at home either. So we try to leave it on the field as much as we can. And if there is an issue, we may talk in my office before we go home. But no, we try to leave it out there as much as we can, man. It's you guys got kids. You got kids. It goes by fast, and you look back and you see some of the stuff that you may have done. And you're like, damn. Why'd I do that?
Yeah.
Why'd I treat him like that? So as I've gotten older, I try to step back a little bit and understand he is a kid. He's gonna make mistakes. We try to coach him up, but no, man, I try to leave that on the field as much as I can.
So to piggyback off that question, just to circle back last year, I noticed you said the Albany game was 19-12 game. If I'm not mistaken, your son was quarterback.
Yes, yeah.
How do you, in that moment, be coach, but in that moment be dad? Because I know in that moment, he might have didn't need coach. He needed dad because that was a hard moment, and with him being young, to kind of generate the strength that he needs to continue to push forward playing that position.
Sure. No, I think that was the main thing you just said. There wasn't any coaching after that moment. It was about being a dad and talking to him how proud I was how he played the whole game. He so the first quarter. We get down the 1 yard line and he punches it in from the 1, and as he does, he gets his ankle rolled. So he's hurting a little bit, but he never hesitated to go back in. We wrapped it up. He's limping around, whatever. But at that moment when he threw that pick, it wasn't anything about football, man. It was just about guts and how he continued to fight the whole game. And again, how you're a sophomore, learn from it.
Yeah.
We get back in this moment next year. It's not too big for you at that point. Maybe you're ready to take that step, and when that moment's presented to you this coming up year, it helps you a little bit. I know we don't like to fail. No one likes to fail, but if you'll learn from those failures, it's one of those things you can learn from and get better.
Refresh your ride during the Thrill of Summer sales event at Nissan of Wichita Falls. Come see our great lineup of new Nissans, including the all-new Nissan Rogue and the new 2024 Nissan Frontier. Nissan of Wichita Falls has a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles and a service staff of certified Nissan technicians, backed by the best parts department in Texoma. We're locally owned and operated with a sales team you can trust at Nissan of Wichita Falls.
For sure. That's one thing that we I think that, especially when I know there's a coach and a coach's son relationship, that I think sometimes gets overlooked, of how coaches not only have to, I always say with the players, especially in your son's situation, I've never been in that situation, but I can only imagine he's having to not only, he's sharing you, but that's one thing. And,
Sure.
And then he also has to, I think, realize too, in the moment, you coach him just like you coach the other players. So you're tough on the other players, you're tough on him. So sometimes he probably like, oh, damn, I'm your son.
I'm telling you, man, I just being around coaching as long as I have, I'm telling you right now, it's tough to be a coach's kid because they're going to get it worse. They're going to get it way worse. You know, I can say that because so I've got Kaysen, plays for me. Coach Johnson West is my DC. He's got Simon that plays. Coach Wheeler's got Jake who plays for us. They're all the same age. Trust me, I've seen those kids take some butt chewings that other kids have not taken. So I'm telling you right now, it's tough to be a coach's kid.
And I bet the wives of y'all those three households, they let you know if it's too much, don't they?
Oh yeah, Mama's gonna always let you know, hey, it's time to ease up a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of mentioned it. I mean, I know you said 10 seniors. So what do you think is going to be the strength of the Muenster Hornets this year?
I may have mentioned it already, but honestly, I feel like for a school our size, I think it's our depth more than anything. We do have some skilled players. I think we've got some good players, some good football players. But I think more than anything for a school our size, I really believe that we're almost too deep at almost every position. And you know, you've coached football long enough to know injuries are going to happen.
Yep.
And we've got guys that can slide in and do a really good job for us. So I think as far as what our strength is this year, I think it's our depth. And then also, you know, it's our experience. We got a lot of kids coming back that played a lot of football last year. So it's one of those things that it's definitely going to help us in the long run.
Yes, for sure. So, Coach, as we getting ready to wrap it up, I definitely got to ask my twofold question.
All right, here we go.
My signature question.
All right.
We gonna patent this question. This is the big old special. That's what we're gonna start calling it.
The big old special.
The big
I
old
don't know
special.
about all that.
Yeah, the big old special. That's what it's called. So, Coach, the first part of it is, what's your favorite pregame meal that you like to have before games?
Man, I'll be honest with you. The kids, and I guess even myself, anytime I like being in Region 2 going through Wichita Falls because we get to stop at Texas Roadhouse. That's one of the big ones. Kids will eat the heck out of those rolls, boy, before we get back on the road. So will I. So will I. So Texas Roadhouse. Other than that, we go to a restaurant there in town a lot, Romer's, and have catfish on Fridays, stuff like that. So we get a little fried catfish. Yeah, so those are probably my two, Texas Roadhouse and then a little fried catfish on Fridays.
Okay, so the next part of that question is, what's something that you like to feed the kids like before games or after games?
Man, they eat that too. Yeah, they're eating that too. So they, you know, it may be a chicken fried steak, it may be a sirloin steak, it may be the fried catfish. You know, every kid's a little bit different, so we try to keep the variety as much as we can. Give them all something that they want to eat, because you know some kids they like to eat a little bit lighter, and others will eat more heavy. But no, man, I think the kids. We do have a lady there in town that will bring up hamburgers, cheeseburgers, chicken sandwiches, stuff like that too. So. We're in a small town, man. We got a lot of options. Yeah, you know,
got to be that sausage and
got
cheese.
that sausage
too.
and cheese, plenty of it though.
So real quick, explain to us. You said you've been there 15 years.
Yeah.
So one thing is there any traditions that you started or that Muenster does?
Winning.
That's been.
No,
other
I'm just
than
messing
winning?
with you, man. I'm just messing with you.
Hey.
No, I'm just giving you a
can't
hard
hate
time
on that. But like, is there something you guys do the day of, the day before the game, after the game that you might want to share with us?
Man, the day of, I think the one thing that we've changed a little bit that is new. So since I've been there, we built a new field house locker room and stuff, and we sit on the south end of our field, and we've got a big roll-up door in our weight room, and that's where we meet and have our pregame prayer and stuff. And once we roll the door up, you know, at a big game, there's fans that stretch the sidewalk that walks through the wall there, so it's like a wall that walks down to the field, and they'll stretch that whole thing out like a victory line. And that's always pretty cool when the music starts. We roll the door up, you know, and they start walking down there. It's always pretty cool because our big wall on our gym that you can see from our field has our state championships up there. And it has our big Texas M and homecoming games.
The one we're going to put up
The
here.
one you're going to put up there, yeah.
Okay.
And no, big games, homecoming games, big games versus Lindsay or Windthorst, those guys, heck, the parents may have, they may get fireworks and rockets and stuff, be setting stuff off. It's always pretty cool. But no, I think that's the main thing. It's just the entrance to the game and how we've wrapped it around that building and how the fans will come out and lead the walk out there and stuff. That's pretty cool for us.
Yeah, definitely. And then my last question, I don't know if you guys got anything else, but what's a typical day like for yourself from game day?
Okay,
From
game day?
From when time you wake up to the time you go to bed.
Man, here's the deal. Again, I always go back to the small school because it's different. You know, I'm an athletic director, but I'm also a PE teacher. So Friday morning for us, let's say Friday morning, junior high is going to come in at 7. We're going to start practice at 7. All right, 7:15. And again, we're a small school. We got 6 football coaches. So we're coaching junior high, JV, and varsity. So we're all up there at Friday morning at 7 o'clock for junior high practice. From there, for me, I have 3 athletic director conferences up until lunch. All right, so I have those periods off to plan out the day. So for me, during those 3 periods on game day, I'm getting out game jerseys, I'm getting out game pants, game socks, undershirts, trying to get all that ready for those guys to get when they get down there. And then from there, I have lunchroom duty with the high school group, with the high school kids, to make sure no one's getting in fights or anything.
Small school for
you know what it is, yeah. After I leave there,
Serve lunch.
yeah,
Pick up the trash
if they
after.
need me to. If they need me to. From there, after that 6th period, I usually got 6th grade boys pre-athletics. And what that is for us is I take all the boys in 6th grade and we learn the weight room, or we may learn basketball, football, whatever it is. But I'm trying to teach them a little bit before they get into 7th grade, so it's a little bit easier for us. From there, during 7th period, I've got high school PE. And then 8th period, we've got our high school athletic period. The boys come down on Friday. They get all their game pants, undershirts, all that stuff get packed, and then we go in, we watch a little film, all right? From film, at 3 o'clock, we go to the pepper alley. We all go to the pepper alley, get that all going, and then we do our pregame meal at 3:30. Yep. Then we're just hanging out.
Then it's football.
That's it. Then it's football time. Best
All
time.
right. Well, that's pretty awesome. You guys got anything else?
Did the guy, the coach from Graham, did he have any PE classes or anything?
Nope.
No, that's a joke. He ain't got nothing.
You knew the
man.
answer to that.
Yeah, he ain't got nothing. He's just coaching football.
He even told us they got their own personal strength
Yeah, they
coach.
just got their.
So.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, what is this? What's he? He's just out there coaching football every day.
Must
man.
be nice, huh?
So
go ahead.
my last question to you, Coach, and we appreciate your time, is so what, in your assessment, what will the Muenster Hornets look like this year? Like, what's a successful season for the Muenster Hornets?
Man, I honestly, I think we've got a good football team. I do. We got some good ones coming back. I know all the rankings and all that stuff. None of that really matters, but they got us picked pretty high. I think we've got some coaches that respect the kids that we do have coming back. But man, we've got a tough pre-district schedule, and like we talked about earlier, we got to stay away from injuries. If we can stay healthy, make it through district healthy, I think we can make a push, to compete in our region for top in our region. But again, it's not going to be easy because Clarendon and Wellington and Albany and Windthorst and Seymour and Collinsville, Lindsay, it just keeps going in Region 2. But I think we've got a team that could possibly do that. But man, you got to stay healthy at our level. 1 or 2 players, key players that go down for us can be the difference in a 11-2 season, 12-2 season. You can go to 6-6 pretty quick at our level. So the main thing for us, man, staying healthy. If we do that, we feel like we can compete at the top of Region 2 for us. I don't know if that means we can win it, but we feel like we can be a hard out for anybody in that region.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're excited about watching and doing a better job of covering you guys for sure.
I appreciate y'all stretching out that far, man. That's awesome.
No, I mean we're trying to do what we can do.
Sure.
Every little bit will help.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited about this Kraut Bowl.
Yeah, you got to come, man. That needs to be the one. Yeah.
I might try to be that might be the one that I come out for.
That needs to be the one. You need to get it.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like we could be asking you questions all day. Unfortunately, we got to wrap it up.
No, I get it. I understand.
We do appreciate you coming out here. You got anything else for us?
No, like I said earlier, I just appreciate you guys reaching out to us. I know we're a ways from here, but any exposure for the kids and the program's great. And we play a lot of guys out this direction. And I just, like I said, I appreciate you guys having us on.
Yeah, we're glad you're here. And, we appreciate everything and wish you best of luck this season. And we'll be on the lookout.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.